You just met my husband.
Oh, okay.
It's all in the
I
family.
know, that's good. How are you guys doing?
Good, good.
Yeah?
Ready? Hi, Janet Nepales, GMA7. Congratulations on your film feature debut.
Thank you.
So, how does it feel to be a director? Is it any different from being a stunt coordinator?
It's funny. It's like I still feel the same because even though if my title goes up, I'm around the same people all the time, the same creative process. So it still feels normal to me in that sense. But at the same time, it's very exciting and exhilarating, and it's at times overwhelming also because it's like you see how people are reacting to the movie, and it gets me. It becomes very heartfelt.
What was your inspiration for doing this movie?
I grew up watching a lot of Hong Kong action movies, so I watch a lot of Shaw Brothers, Golden Harvest movies. So I grew up in that era, the kind of the '80s Hong Kong wave, and so this is kind of like my love letter to those movies.
It reminded me a lot of Jackie Chan movies.
Yes,
So,
yeah, that's the early Jackie Chan.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And also, why did you choose Ki Hoi Kwan and Ariana DeBose, two Oscar-winning
Yeah.
actors, to be involved in this movie?
Well, when I got the script, you're trying to define like who the best person embodies who I think this character is, and this is during like Key's Oscar push, and you're like, and then I'm watching him doing his speech, and I was a big fan of his growing up. I'm like, that's the guy. So I'm like, let's try to get him, and he read it, and we had meetings, and the rest is history, and then with Ariana. You're watching him, like her interaction with him during the Oscars when she presented him his award, and you're seeing all these, like how they interact with him. And I was like, those are the general authentic connections that you want to convey on screen. So I remember like he brought it up to me, and then I met her, and same thing right away. I knew she was Rose. I didn't have to. There was like really no doubt in my head on that, that decision. I just knew like I need someone that can connect with Key on an emotional level, can keep him on his toes on an emotional performance level, but at the same time embody who I thought Rose was.
And Ki really did all his stunts?
Oh yes. It's like yes, like all the fights,
Yeah.
everything, anything to do with the action performance in the fights. I mean, that's all him, right?
Yeah. Most challenging, I think, was in the kitchen. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I
kitchen
mean,
scene?
I love that scene. That's like one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie. There's a the backstory is like we filmed that fight 2 days into shooting, so we didn't really get a full rehearsal with Key, Andre, and Marshawn until like they arrived, and they all kind of practiced separately, and then Marshawn wasn't available till like 2 days before. So Marshawn kind of trained in LA a little bit. We all got the guys got them all together, and then we just put them together. But everyone loves. I get great response from that fight, and I'm very proud of them. They picked it up, and it was just even though it's like we did it very early on in the production, so everyone was still trying to find their groove. So the fact that it's the most well received action piece in the movie, it means a lot.
Was it harder to train Ariana, who doesn't have any background in,
No, not really, because her background,
Martial arts.
she comes from a dance background, so she's already comfortable with movement and rhythm and timing, which is what fight choreography in movies is based on. So it's easier to teach someone with her background than someone that has no background at all. And she's such a dynamic performer, anyways. Whatever you would teach her, she would pick it up like this. That's why I was very lucky because with the cast I have, everyone was very physically adept already.
And did you incorporate any Filipino martial arts in the movie?
I usually like when I used to choreograph for her, I always put some sense of Kali or Filipino stuff in any of the choreography I do. But because now I'm director, I left it up to my stunt team. So we like the concepts we all do kind of together, and I tell them what to do. But the choreography itself is more, I would say, a Hong Kong-based style, as opposed to a Filipino martial arts style.
And you enrolled in Don Inosanto's Academy of Martial Arts at age 18.
Yes.
And then you met your friends, co-directors in Week. John Wick from that
Yeah.
academy.
Yeah.
What did you learn from that experience? All the schooling that you got from
From
Inosanto.
Inosanto. Well, I just answered this question before. What I learned a lot from Dan, even though like he's an amazing martial artist and he taught us all these different martial arts that I applied to fight choreography. But the one thing I learned from him that always stuck in my mind was like the greatest thing to have, the greatest attribute to have, is an open mind. So I use that mode of thinking in everything I do. So willing to hear things out, accept other choices, maybe open yourself to new ideas, and I think that stayed with me the most.
What was the most challenging scene for you?
Gosh, I mean, all the action stuff. That's kind of like my wheelhouse. So I'm kind of very comfortable. It was like when we started doing like the emotional scenes, and I think my first scenes with having Key and Ariana together, their scenes, which was like those made me nervous because that's a different aspect of the filmmaking that I was used to, right? So anything the emotional, non-action stuff, that was all new to me.
And what would you do like 5 years from now? Do you have any dream project that you still want to do?
I mean, I think I'm living my dream now,
Uh,
but I think it's just anything that I read and it resonates with me, I'd want to do it. I'm open to all genres of film because I grew up, watching martial art movies, reading comics, right? Watching anime. So all that stuff is kind of inherently inside of me. So I have to see something and it has to kind of speak to me, and then I would like to do it. So I think anything that like allows me to kind of express myself, I would like to do.
what does your biological sciences background help you in becoming the person you are today as a director?
Well, I would say, going to, school and university, it just taught me how to do things, how to interact with different types of people and finish things on deadlines. So I know school was good for me that way. My parents would go, "That's what I spent all your money on," but it's true. I mean, when you're in college or you're in school and you're away from home for all those years, you're learning to interact with different types of people, and in a sense, it's like training you to collaborate with different people.
And you mentioned your parents. I know Filipino parents want their children to be doctors, nurses.
Yes.
What was their reaction when you said, "I'm going to be a
Oh,
filmmaker, a stunt coordinator"?
Yeah, their faces they're like, "What? You're wasting your education, your time," right? But I've always loved film growing up. I think that was always inherently, like, it's intrinsic inside of me. But they weren't happy at first, but over time they saw that I was making a living. I think they just wanted me to be happy. So when I started making a living out of it, they just very supportive of me.
What provinces did they come from?
My mom's from Visayas. My dad came from Manila.
And when was the last time you were in the Philippines?
Ooh, I did that movie Born Legacy. So that was my first and last time there. So that was very eye-opening experience. But I had I had amazing time over there, and I learned a lot.
Would you want to do a movie in the Philippines?
I think that comes full circle for me. It's like I would love to do a Filipino story, and it comes first, like maybe shoot something in the Philippines. It's always nice to give back or express your culture and your people. I think it's important.
And what would you advise aspiring, filmmakers, Filipino filmmakers,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
if they want to follow your footsteps?
Any chance you get, surround yourself with like-minded people. Don't be afraid. You got to put yourself in. You got to give yourself the opportunity to create your luck. So if you want to shoot film, you go for it. Shoot something. Meet other creative types. The world now is not just limited to shooting on movie theaters. It's like you can do everything streaming. There's like the internet. It's crazy. Social media. So you can create.
Who were the influential directors for you?
Ooh, like growing up.
Yes.
I will say I used to watch a lot of Spielberg, of course, Scorsese, John Woo, Luc Besson, and of course, like I have my mentors. I have there's Chad Stahelski, I have David Leitch, Tarantino. I love, but I think everyone I've met in the business kind of helped me shape my sensibility for things.
So in the future, would you want to establish like a studio somewhere and train other young aspirants of being a director and a stunt coordinator?
Yeah, I guess I would like to give back for sure. I think it's just one of those things like you'll see where I am in those years, but I think it's always nice to give back, like what you learn and pass it on. I think that's a very important gift you can give to others.
And do you think Hollywood is now ready for more representation?
I feel like Hollywood's been doing it. I feel like for me, I've been in business 25 years and I've seen it change a lot, and I do feel like the representation is actually in people of color are becoming more in the forefront, which is an amazing thing.
In the casting, would you have also casted like Mark Dacascos or Dave Bautista or even Diane Lee in a song?
Yeah, I mean it depends. I always do this. I think whoever's meant to do the part, like I don't go out and go, okay, I'm gonna cast them specifically for their color, right? But I go, as long as you cast someone that's like they're right for that part, like they're supposed to be that part. But yes, I mean if I could do opportunity to do things with them, I would. So it just depends on what if they fit the character, they embody that character.
And last question would be, if what would you think audiences would get from watching this movie?
I think the message is just love yourself. If you love yourself and you're happy with yourself, then you can spread love to others.
That's very nice.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was great. Great. Is it okay if I have